Hello everybody, I'm MJ. Welcome to the Corner of Country. New show here at Manchester. I'm loving it and I'm hoping you will. My guest today will be Tommy Brandt, and he will be giving you a taste of what the show is going to be about from here on out. Just a taste. We want to bring you a lot of variety. We definitely want to bring you a lot of encouragement. And as the show develops and evolves, we want your input. We want to know what you want to see and hear. We want to know where you're hurting. We want to know where you need to be encouraged. And please feel free to encourage us anytime you want to. But with no further ado, I want to introduce to you Tommy Brandt. Tommy is an amazing friend of mine. I met him 4 years ago at the Inspirational Country Music Awards. It was the year that Mercy Brought Me Out was so hot and stayed #1 for months, didn't it? Amazing song. And we're going to be learning a little bit about Tommy today. Want to say hello?
Hey everybody, good to be here today.
Tommy lives in this unbelievable bus, you know, trucking down the road, and you're always wondering who's hiding in those things. Well, that's where he lives, and he literally, he performs all over the country. He's really hot out west. In fact, he had me come out to Texas it was last spring, I think, to participate in a really neat event that was going on at a cowboy church in South Texas. And I discovered how really popular this man is. But Florida, Indiana, Illinois, Texas, New Mexico, Southern California, they've claimed him until now. We are changing that today. I learned that he grew up or spent a lot of time in a Georgia town. Want to tell us about that?
I did, yeah. As a teenager growing up, I spent a lot of time down in Jessup, Georgia, in Screven. A good friend of mine I went to school with in grade school moved up here, and every summer when I'd get out of school, I'd hop on the train, and Mom would send me off for the whole summer, and I'd spend the summer coon hunting and fishing and just hanging out in the country down there in South Georgia. So I'm kind of half Georgian, I guess you'd say.
We're going to make him whole Georgian. Tommy came on the scene from country music. He's played it. Actually, you grew up in a bar, didn't you?
I did,
country
yes.
music rolling around the clock.
Yes.
But he left the country scene, was it in 04?
03.
03. Entered the inspirational country world, Christian country. He has had, if I'm not mistaken, 10 #1s?
Yes.
Off 5 different albums. I've lost count of his awards. I know that 4 times running he's been male vocalist of the year for Inspirational Country Music, the award show. And there have been numerous other awards which he does not like to talk about. I will tell you the one thing he likes most to talk about is that which inspired him to move from country to inspirational country, and that's his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Tommy is also an ordained minister, and I'm so thankful for so many in the area at various churches here in Georgia and in this community that have opened their arms to him. They're helping me. We're going to convert this kid. We're going to move him here. He's going to become a Georgian. It's going to happen. Will you tell me just a little bit about what happened when you transitioned from country to Christian country? Who was the influence? Who encouraged you the most? Explain that to us.
I'd be glad to. You know, spent a lot of years doing the wrong thing in my life, a lot of years out there, what I call serving the devil. I literally was, and using my music and my talents for the wrong purpose. And pretty much the whole town, everybody that knew me, although I'd had some fame, we'd had a song out on country radio and kind of had the small town stardom going on, and everybody knew me as the old center boy. You know, if there was some junk to get into, I was the one that was in it. And my wife, who was not my wife at the time, she was one of them love at first sight girls that walked into a cafe I was singing one night, came up to me and she said something different than anybody, gave me a compliment unlike anything anybody had ever given me. She said, "Tommy," she said, "I believe in you, and I believe you can be a better person." And of course, I had my one-liner, you know. I asked her to dance and finally got her on the dance floor, and as we were dancing, I said, "What are you looking for in a man?" That was my liner. And she blew me away. She said, "I want somebody that first of all will put God above and foremost in their life." And I'm thinking, strike one. And she said, "I want somebody that'll put me second in their life, and someone that'll go to church with me." And boy, I'm just going strike two, strike three. But through her encouragement and through our first date, she finally agreed to go out with me if our first date would be Bible study. And through that whole coming together and just her encouragement in my life to be a better person, and her not only having faith enough in God to believe He could straighten me out, but faith enough in me to believe that I could straighten out if I'd let God run in my life. And man, I'm so thankful, because since then it's just, I'm up on top of the mountain and I'm just loving every minute of it.
He literally is up on top of the mountain today, isn't he? And we're so glad to have you here. Tommy, beyond Michelle, your wife, more than once I've heard a story about a man named Del Way. And I want you to talk a little bit about how he influenced you, specifically because when I went to Nashville and discovered Tommy about 4 years ago, it was to do research for my newspaper column, because I had been told that Christian country was the fastest growing genre in America. Well, I didn't believe it, so I had to go check it out. And not only did I discover that that is true, but I discovered why that is true. And as Tommy talks a little bit about Del Way and his influence, I think you might pick up on why it's happening. Tell us about Del.
Man, I tell you, there's many like Del out there, and I hopefully one day will be considered in that same category. But Del is a great songwriter, great singer. He could have been rocking and rolling with Sony or Capitol Records, any of them. He's that good. But he chose to not only be a singer in inspirational country music and Christian country, but to be a leader in the fact that he would just as soon put somebody on the platform instead of him. He'll give them the music, he will give them the songs, he'll do anything he can to grow the genre of Christian country music. When I left country music, I didn't have a Christian song in my repertoire. And I had a period where I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I was supposed to serve the Lord with my music. And Del sent me every song that he had, not just one or two, but he sent me a box that was about 3 foot by 3 foot full of music and said, "Here you go, use them however you want." And it was because of his willingness to share and not have to be the star on the stage that I'm doing. My mission is just that. You know, I want to build the genre of inspirational country music. I believe in it, but I know that I can't reach everybody. I want to train up other artists to be able to go out and build the kingdom using inspirational country music, and however I can do that, whatever I can do for them. I want to be Adele.
This is a movement unto itself, because you don't see a lot of, well, no, you're starting to see a lot of inspirational country. 3 Wooden Crosses, Jesus Take the Wheel. I mean, that's coming out there, but this population that so respects Tommy and his wife, they share everywhere, all over this country. Fairs, churches, fundraisers, there's no limit. I mean, there is a Christian country artist somewhere in this country every day performing and sharing and encouraging and visiting local prisons, local schools, encouraging others in Christ. And I'm so, so thankful, so thankful. I said earlier when I was talking, I miss what the country music stations were like in the South oh my goodness, 30 years ago, I just dated myself, didn't I? Every radio station in the South, every country station would play an inspirational, I think they called it a country song of the day or an inspirational song of the day. And mountain country still mixes in a lot of inspirational messages and music, but not all the country stations do. And there's no excuse for that, especially in today's time. We are at war, we are discouraged, our employment rate is through the roof. We all need to be encouraged. And I so appreciate the way it's being done here at these stations and in a few others. Maybe we can get the fire going and everybody will be doing it again soon. Now would be a really good time, that said, to talk about Nuff Said. You do it so much better than me, and we were talking inspirational country, Christian country, but tell them about Nuff Said and how it was born a few months back.
Nuff Said is the title track to my newest CD, and it's really interesting because I'm a country boy at heart. Everything that comes out is country, and my wife, believe it or not, doesn't like country music. She's a rock and roller. 80s rock is her thing, and she inspired me to write this song. She said, I want you to write an 80s rock song for me, and I thought, how is that going to fit on one of my CDs in an inspirational country radio? And it wound up not only being the title track, but it's our newest release to Christian radio, and have gotten more great reviews back on this than any song that I've done. And I believe the reason why is because it kind of bridges the gap between the one that likes straightforward modern country music that's got that driving, rocking sound. You can snap your feet to it and dance to it, but it's still got the good meaning behind it, the good lyrics behind it. It'll play in a jukebox at a bar just as good as it'll play at the Baptist church right downtown. Mm-hmm. And that's my mission, and out of my music is to take the country music that I've loved and I've grown up with and that I so enjoy, and change the lyrics to put clean, family-friendly content in it to go out and reach the one that won't go to church. There's some great music in church. I love praise and worship music, contemporary Christian music, Southern gospel. Man, I love all of it, but you can never take it and hand it to somebody as they're walking out of a bar. Man, I can take this and bridge the gap between the lost and the saved.
You know, I'd love to take a break and let the viewers hear Nuff Said, but when we come back, I'd like to talk about bridging the gap. We need to do more of that in all areas of our lives. Here's Nuff Said. Enjoy.
Lived in a shack in the backwoods, haunted by the light of the moon. Scuffed up Tony Llama snake boots, a modern day Daniel Boone. Then one day some people came to run him off his land, but Smith and Wesson showed him he was more than just a man. He was tough as nails, strong as wood, lived the way that every man should. Had a heart of gold, thoroughbred, made his mama proud. Nuff Said. 24, Willie joined the war after 9/11 took his dad. On the front line of that battlefield, never seen a man fight like that. He was down there in that foxhole when the captain hit the ground. Willie was the hero as the bombs came falling down. He was tough as nails, strong as wood, lived the way that every man should. Had a heart of gold, thoroughbred, made his mama proud. Nuff Said. Written in red, the greatest story ever been told, about a man who died hanging on a cross 2,000 years ago. Some say that it ended when he drew his final breath. I know he is risen, he's alive and well. Tough as a nail, strong as wood, live the way that every man should. Had a heart of gold, thoroughbred, made his mama proud. Tough as a nail, strong as wood, live the way that every man should. Had a heart of gold, thoroughbred, made his daddy proud.
Corley Drugs is opening the store wide with savings every day. Right now, you can sign up for our loyalty club for dollar rewards. Why pay more? Corley Drugs Loyalty Club is just another way we can say thank you.
I save every time I shop.
Sign up for free today and save more. Corley Drugs with 4 locations in LaGrange and in Manchester.
Instead of going out tonight, have a great night in from Primetime Video. A 2-day DVD rental is just $2.50. Primetime Video also sells new and older movies, music CDs, car deodorizers, gum, candy, soft drinks, and video games for all systems. New releases come in every 2 weeks. Primetime Video, 1004 Warm Springs Highway in Manchester. For convenient and quick service, stop by the Quick Spot for gas and groceries, including beer, wine, lottery tickets, candy, and ice cream. Convenient and quick service at Quick Spot Convenience Store, next to Piggly Wiggly in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Did you like Nuff Said? Everybody likes Nuff Said. It's just amazing. I saw folks go wild over that song in Nashville last fall, and now they're doing it all over the country. We were talking before we heard that beautiful number about bridging the gap and how Tommy's music does it. And oddly enough, I've longed for a fence across my property for about 12 years with a gate. And as we were driving out of the drive over the weekend, my husband and I was telling him again, I want my fence, I want the gate. Okay, I'll give it to you. We'll do it. And I reach to push the button on the radio. Of course, the channel was on 94.5 Mountain Country. And I don't know what Jeff Tate had just said prior to what I heard, but the words out of his mouth as I drive down the driveway asking for my fence and gate, Jeff's words were, "You need to build a bridge, not a wall." I thought, wow, God, you catch us wherever we are and you correct us really quickly, don't you? Tommy was pulled up at 2 a.m. to sweep peanuts and sawdust out of a bar. And little did he know what God had in store. Last year, when you were in Kansas for the Stampede, can you tell us how God used you at that event to bridge the gap in a powerful way?
Yes, one of the funnest times of my life, probably one of the most stressful times of my life, but it was a full event. It was an event called the Country Stampede, 160,000 fans there. We had Keith Urban, Darius Rucker, Miranda Lambert, any of today's top 40 country singers were there, and the person who put it on invited me to come out and be on the main stage right in the middle of all of those artists. And I had a throw-together band at the last minute, had some fall out, and wound up not being my greatest showing on probably one of the largest stages of my life. You know, the guitar player had never played any of my music before that moment. And it just wasn't the greatest showing in that aspect. Halfway through the concert, I had an hour set. One of the amps caught on fire. Stage was on fire. Fire extinguishers going everywhere. And I finally just broke down to just me and an acoustic guitar. And I sat up there and just poured out my heart to this crowd. And before I had went on stage, the manager of the event said, "Tommy, you're welcome to have an invitation at the end of your set if you want." And I'm like, really? So here I am at a straight up secular country event. And I wound up bringing it down to just me and a guitar and telling stories about how my father had passed away early in my life and that I know that he was saved, he's in heaven now, and had an invitation. There were over 200 people received Christ that day. And our product table where we do sign autographs and all, we're right there next to Little Big Town and a couple of other artists. And our product table at that time, we had over 2 football fields of people piled around my product table to be prayed for, to buy our Christian necklaces, our faith t-shirts. They wanted something to do with Jesus before we left that day. And people today, whether they want to admit it or not, are really reaching for hope and something to grab a hold of other than the world, because it's a simple fact that if you're holding on to money for your happiness or your comfort right now, man, you're going to get disappointed. But I can tell you, if you hold on to Christ, you're not going to get disappointed.
You know, Tommy, as you were talking there, a few months back, I thought I was about to face major surgery with a long incision and having my cricopharyngeal muscle in my throat butterflied. I was losing my voice. I was very sick. And I knew, not always do I know this, but I knew that that was coming from the enemy. And I knew he was trying to take my voice. And in every way imaginable, with what voice I had, I began to speak for Christ. And I started getting all these invitations to go like I had not had in years. Go, go, go. And during that process, I wanted to put praise music on my telephone. So my sons, so many people had said it'll only take a couple of minutes, just do this, do that. 45 minutes I struggled. And then I called this young woman out in New Mexico with this company and told her the problem I was having, and she said, "There shouldn't be a problem." I said, "Oh, but honey, there is." And I swear to you, 45 minutes later, this child was almost in tears on the phone with me, and I said, "Baby, I know you're in a room with a lot of people, and I can hear you, but don't close your eyes. They don't have to know we're praying. But I want you to get very still, and I'm going to pray for you." So I did. I prayed for this young girl. And when I finished, her voice broke, and she said, "I was raised in a Christian home. I have a cousin who's a gospel singer, and nobody has ever prayed for me before, aloud." And she just went on to say how it was the most wonderful thing she had ever heard, to hear somebody talk to God. We are all hungry for that, the churched and the unchurched.
Yeah, and it's amazing how God takes the trials and the tests in our lives. You know, it took you not being able to get a song loaded onto your phone. It took me having a terrible performance in a band that didn't work very good for God to be able to use that situation to, you know, he always takes what the devil means for harm and uses for good. Never ceases to amaze me how he can do that. And we just have to have enough humility in our lives to be able to let that happen and go through those trials to let God's ultimate plan work.
If I had a message that I wanted to convey from now until the day I die, I think I would want to tell people that it's not about performance. Although, Betty, you do perform well. With God, it's not. It's about relationship. It's just about relationship. And I'm guessing that would be your message as well. I've heard you many times on stage, and I know that is your message. Before we close out, and when we close out, I'm hoping we can go to that song that introduced me to you, Mercy Brought Me Out. It's just the most amazing, amazing message. But before we close, I want you to talk a little bit, if you can, about Beyond the Music, because you're using that new venture to help other people to do what you're doing. Tell us about it.
Yes, my wife and I started a promotion company called Beyond the Music Promotions, and it's part of our nonprofit corporation. But our venture is to help other artists that have really gotten caught up in the world's music ways. The world is kind of a corrupt place in the music business, and we just want to help guide and direct folks that are getting into the music business. That first of all, we want to keep them Christ-oriented and keep them goal-oriented in building the kingdom. Mm-hmm. But then also find them avenues, different studios, different ways of getting recordings done, and getting their music and their ministry promoted properly and out. And basically it just started as us helping one or two artists, and then others started calling, and we thought, hey, we better put us together a game plan and let God be the center of it. So that's kind of what we're doing. Now, will this be
based in Nashville?
Yes, we'll be based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and it'll help our cause as well. Sometimes it's a little easier to present a Beyond the Music promotion than a Tommy Brandt, so to speak.
You know what we need to do? Because, I have to tell everybody, today's Tommy's birthday. The year we met, he called me Mama within 48 hours. And he's here this week celebrating his birthday with me, and I'm very thankful for that. But while he's been here, his tour schedule has been updated repeatedly. This morning he went through more than 300 emails since he got up at 7 o'clock. And there's no way we can tell you what's coming up, but can you tell the viewers how to go to your website and check your schedule?
Sure, yeah. Just go to www.tommybrandt.org. It's B-R-A-N-D-T. Or you can go to tommybrandt.com, either one, and check out our tour schedule page.
I'm so excited about the fact that you're about to hear the song Mercy Brought Me Out, and it alone will tell you what I want you to hear. But if Tommy and I sat down together with two legal tablets here, there's no way we could list all the times and places that mercy has brought us out of so many precarious situations we've been in. Now, I don't think you wrote that song, Mercy Brought Me Out.
No, good friend of mine, James Payne.
James Payne wrote that. But you do write most of your songs, and you did write Enough Said.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm excited beyond words for you to hear this song that made me fall in love with Tommy Brandt. And here for you is Mercy Brought Me Out. Enjoy.
I have won some battles, I have lost some wars. I've been wounded a time or two, and I bear the scars. There have been times it was hard to find the strength to just go on. Mercy said, just lean on me. When you're weak, I am strong. Mercy brought me through the storms. It brought me through the rain. It brought me through the heartaches and all of the pain. When I was in sin's darkness, couldn't find the light of day, mercy brought me out. Grace led the way. I've heard the doctor say we've done all we can do. cried a million tears from the things I've been through. This old heart's been broken by the people that I've loved, but I felt mercy's healing hand reach down from above. Mercy brought me through the storms, it brought me through the rain, it brought me through the heartaches and all of the pain. When I was in sin's darkness, couldn't find the light of day, mercy brought me out, and grace led the way. Mercy brought me through the storms, it brought me through the rain, it brought me through the heartaches and all of the pain. When I was in sin's darkness, couldn't find the light of day, mercy brought me out, and grace led the way. Yeah. Mercy brought me out of darkness, and grace led the way.
Out of the storms, out of the rain.
Thank you, Father, for your grace and your mercy on my life.
Corley Drug's new Loyalty Club cards.
I got mine.
Corley Drugs is giving you more, much more, with the all-new Loyalty Club for Dollar Rewards. Just sign up for free and begin enjoying the savings. Corley Drugs rewards our customers with loyalty rewards and still offer fast and accurate prescription services too. Corley Drugs with 4 locations in LaGrange and in Manchester.
From cotton candy to concrete cutters, from wedding fountains to high-pressure washers, you'll find it at Taylor Foster Rental. If you have a wedding in your future, let Taylor Foster Rental help you with everything from candelabras to tents. If you have a tough job to do, let Taylor Foster Rental help you with the right tools to get it done right. From birthday parties to full-blown festivals, Taylor Foster has inflatables, cotton candy machines, and more. Taylor Foster Rental in Manchester has what you need.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.